Hi everyone, it's Romay and we're back with another paint and sip. Tonight we're going to be painting the Beach Cove, and this is probably one of my favorite paintings, so serene and colorful. I invite you to go grab a napkin for your brushes, a cup of water, and your favorite beverage, most important part. Thank you all for being here, it's always appreciated, so let's get started. You can start with your canvas flat on any type of surface, a table, the ground, and grab your large paintbrush to start. Okay, so when you take the brush out of the water, initially you're going to want to dab it on the napkin so that you don't bring that water into your paint. You're going to start with the purple and then take your smaller brush, wipe it off, and mix it in with a little bit of white to make a lighter purple for the background. For a lavender color, and we're going to start by putting the paint right on the upper middle part of the canvas. It doesn't really matter if you don't go all the way to the corners with this or all the way to the sides, because we're also going to paint our black cove around the sides of the canvas. So just getting maybe about an inch from the edge of the canvas is okay. To get the true lavender that I wanted, I did mix a little bit of black in to make it more of a gray to mix with the purple. So you can do that as well. It doesn't have to be exactly my purple as long as it blends with the other colors. And I'll show you how to do that in a second. You're gonna go about 1/4 of the way down the canvas with this purple color, and then you're going to mix a darker purple with a little bit more black for the definition for the clouds. the clouds, you're gonna take your smaller detail brush, dry it off a little bit, and then you're gonna take your pigment and dab it onto the canvas. It's always easier when the background is still wet when you apply the paint, just so that it blends better, and the clouds look a lot softer when you dab it into the wet paint and they dry together. This is going to be a mixture of the darker purple that I made, the normal purple that you have provided for you, and white. So you can just mix those in to kind of look like clouds. The white is going to be more at the bottom, and the normal purple that we already have is going to be at the top of the cloud.
Fossil Pride.
This is an original instrumental. Enjoy.
This is another M Fossil production. Fossil Pride.
This is an original instrumental. Enjoy.
A nice tip is that when you're mixing colors, it's best to wipe the brush off on the napkin after you rinse it in the water, just so that you're not tracking different colors into the other paints, because you're going to use them later. So for the next part of the sky, we're going to mix red, white, and a little bit of yellow to kind of make it a sunset pink. And to make this a lot easier to blend, once you put on the first streak of the yellow orange or the pink orange, you can wet the purple a little bit and mix them into each other that way. So just wet the purple with a little bit of the water that you have in the cup, and it'll be a lot easier to blend. as much pink as we did purple in terms of moving down the canvas. I'm gonna add a little bit of yellow here to the left to reflect the sun. And then I'm going to start adding yellow right under the pink to move into the sunset portion. Pink and orange combination, we do want to move to the ends of the canvas because that is where the cove is going to end. So we just want to make sure that those parts of the canvas are covered. So don't leave an inch of space here, go all the way to the ends. If you just apply the yellow right onto the bottom where we just put the last bit of pink, it'll give you an orange hue, and then you can just start to move down the canvas a little bit with the yellow, and slowly adding white in at the very bottom. Once you have almost about 1/3 of the canvas left at the bottom, we want to save that for the ocean and the beach. So we're going to paint yellow for the very last layer of the sunset for the sky and add a little bit of white in there. While the paint is still wet, I'm going to start adding the clouds in. Again, this is going to make it blend easier. So I just go in with my detailed brush, take some white, just a little bit of white, and just kind of smear it into the sunset. You don't want to pat here because you want the clouds to kind of look like they're disappearing into the sunset. So you can just make a line and kind of blend it in to the yellow and the orange parts of the sunset. We're gonna go up into the pink a little bit, but not too much. We're going to go in and make some maroon clouds. So you can take a little bit of purple and red, and we're going to go in and just a little tiny bit of black, and right on the left and right corners of the yellow and orange where they meet, we're just going to dab in a little bit of maroon clouds. And we're also going to put one right where the orange and the pink meet. to be the same shape as mine, you just want them to blend into the sunset, so don't try too hard to get them to be the same shape. They can be any shape you want, as long as they blend into the sky.
This is another Infosol production.
So now that we're done with the clouds, we are going to go right in with the blue and start making the ocean. You want to get it as close to the sunset as possible and as straight as possible. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect because it's water, but you don't want it to be crooked. And we're going to also add a little tiny bit of black to make it look like the ocean is turning different colors.
This is an original instrumental.
Definitely make sure you go to the edges of the canvas with this one as well, because we haven't reached the bottom where the cove is going to be present yet.
Enjoy.
Right after we go in with the black, we're also going to go in with a little bit of white on the left and right sides to kind of show shimmering on the ocean. So you can take a really small amount of white and just kind of blend it in on top of the black or on top of the sides of the ocean.
Fossil Prod.
This is an original instrumental. Enjoy.
You can go all the way down with the blue right until you have about an inch of canvas left at the bottom. That's going to be for the beach. So here you can start to blend white in to the bottom of the ocean that's going to be closest to the beach, so it appears as if the waves are crashing onto the beach. You all, you could take a break at any point that you feel like your canvas needs to dry a little bit and just pause the video. allow it to dry so that you can work around all the pieces better. During this break, you can also feel free to go and dump your water. Clear water definitely helps the actual color of the paint to come through on the canvas, so that's always a big help. I'm going to take my smaller detail brush and go in and make some more clouds on the pink part of the sunset. The smaller amount of white that you add here, and you can add a little bit of water if you want, it'll help it to blend with the sunset a little bit more.
Enjoy.
I even went in here and added a little bit more white to my purple clouds because I did want them to be more defined against the purple background as well. Up a little bit and maybe like what I did and drag a little bit of the ocean into the sunset, you can just put a little tiny bit of water on your canvas and dab it away with your finger or a little bit of the napkin that you have there. Only do that if it's dry. If it's wet, you can wet it a little bit, dab it with the napkin, and then start over. To take a little bit of red, yellow, and white, similar to how we made the pink and orange portions of the sunset, and I'm gonna make the sun. So I'm first gonna start with a little bit of orange and make a circle, and then I am going to paint a little bit of white around the rim just so that it defines the sun against the background that's a little bit of the same color. And then finally I'm gonna add a little bit of yellow in the middle and just kind of swirl it outwards. And you can make this a very bright yellow, any color yellow you want. It's your sun, it's your world, you know. We just want to put a little bit of white in the center and a small sprinkle of white on the edge of the rim to the right as well. And you'll see what I'm talking about. Now we are going to go in with our smaller detail brush and add white to the bottom of the ocean that's crashing against the shore. We did add a little bit of white earlier, but you just want to add more white here to make it more defined. And you also want to add it in a way that's similar to how we made the clouds. So just dabbing paint to kind of look like it's actually crashing onto the shore. Now for this whole piece, we're going to make brown from the primary colors. So you're going to take red, a little bit of red, a little blue, and a little yellow, and you're going to mix them together. So if you want a more red sand on your beach, you're going to add a little bit more red. If you'd like your sand to be more tan and yellow, then you can add more yellow. And if you'd like it to be more blue based, then of course you can add more blue. Sand a little bit lighter, you can go in with a bit of white too, and it'll make it more of a sandy beach type of color. But if you like your sand darker, then you can leave it without the white as well. So now you're going to take that brown color that you created and paint it on the remaining white portion of the canvas at the bottom. You can go all the way to the edges, and this is going to be your sand. After you paint all of your sand on the beach, if you have to go back in with your detail brush and some white to make sure that the waves are still crashing on the shore, definitely take the time to do that. It's going to look really nice underneath with the contrast between the water and the sand and the light colored white that you're going to make for the foam of the waves on the beach. So definitely do this here as well. And then we're going to go in with a little bit of black and start making our rocks. So now we're going to go in with our smaller detail brush and a little bit of black to make the rocks. They can be any size, any shape you want. Just put them on the shore. We're going to make about 3 of them. They're going to be very jagged, so make sure you kind of wiggle the paintbrush a little bit and kind of get them to just create a shape of their own. If you feel like at any point you can't fully go and cover the white because it's going to make your cove look weird, feel free to make that color of the sunset again and just kind of paint in there like I did. Just paint a little bit of the sunset in the portion of the white that you don't want to make the cove. And then you can also take a little bit of white and just start to make a few outlines within your cove, just kind of to show the definition of the rocks. Also feel free to add a little bit of brown in here so that that brings even more definition to your cove. And like we did before, you can just go in and begin to dab the white right onto the rocks and just kind of work it around onto the shore. Make it crazy, you know, just add some lines, some dashes of white, some dabs of white, and just kind of blend them all together to really make it look like it's crashing onto the shore. So now for our final finishing touch to our beautiful masterpiece, we are going to take the detail brush, dip it in the black a little bit, and make very wide M's in the sky. These are going to be our birds, and you can scatter them all throughout the sky. I'm gonna make about 4, and then we can sign our canvas. And that is all I have for you, everyone. Thank you so much for coming. I appreciate your time and your masterpieces and your _skill, and it's really amazing to be here. You can follow me on Instagram at _ROMEI_. Find me on Facebook at Made by Romee, and visit madebyromee.com to see some more masterpieces. Thanks, see you later.